Police were chasing down a speeding motorcycle, but the rider had no intention of stopping. It fired a laser beam through the air. The instant it touched the police car, the vehicle was sliced clean in half. After shaking off the cops, the motorcycle continued pursuing a woman up ahead. She was stunned by what she saw. She used a bus as cover to switch lanes. She managed to lose one pursuer, but another motorcycle was right on her tail. The enemy was faster than Amy. As it closed in, she slammed on the brakes and swerved into a nearby parking structure. She hid inside the winding building. When the enemy followed her in, she timed it perfectly and launched her bike forward. The motorcycle flew out and knocked the enemy off balance. She had finally broken free from the chase, but to her surprise, the rider fell from a great height and wasn't hurt at all. He got right back up and came running. Amy was shocked. She had no choice but to jump on the enemy's motorcycle and take off. Amy tried every button she could find, until she finally activated the armor mode and got the bike back on the road. But she wasn't used to this extreme speed. Now that she was riding the enemy's motorcycle, her position was completely exposed. Another rider was already catching up. He activated a laser grid and surrounded the road ahead of her. Amy had to make a sharp turn to avoid being sliced in half, but now the enemy was in the lead. He kept shrinking the area inside the laser perimeter, giving Amy less and less room to survive. But then suddenly, it turned out the rider's code was programmed for goodness. He would never harm an innocent human baby. Amy seized the chance to escape the trap. When the rider caught up again, he found that Amy had discovered the laser activation button. She used the laser to keep him at a distance, but the rider was fast. He accelerated and closed the gap in seconds. Amy moved in closer and started hitting him with everything she had. The two struggled back and forth on the bikes, until the enemy rider accidentally lost balance and sent Amy flying off as well. Luckily, a dumpster broke her fall. She escaped with only minor injuries. The rider wasn't so lucky. He was pinned under his bike and couldn't move. Once he broke free, he kicked open a door and continued chasing after Amy. But the road ahead led to a dock. Amy had no choice but to snap the hard drive they were after and toss it into the ocean. The rider finally cornered her. It turned out he wasn't a real human. He was code from the virtual world, a body generated through a computer. He could only survive in the real world for 29 minutes. When time ran out, the rider's body vanished. But his backup had already arrived in a helicopter. They activated a beam and pulled Amy into the virtual world. It turned out the hard drive she threw away contained the immortality code. It could let virtual beings live in the real world forever. Without the 29-minute limit, the hard drive was gone. But Amy was the one who wrote the code. The memory of it was stored in her brain. If they completely broke her down, they could extract the immortality code from her memories.